Hey Ellie, just taking a look at your file. I see you have quite a few links. I think you've done a really nice job with just bringing different elements in and arranging them and being creative with it. Like this is the O on the coffee is a coffee bean. That's really cute. Little stacked barrels. The back looks pretty good. I'm a little confused as to what this is. This might look different on your computer. I'm going to do a control click on this and edit with Illustrator, which you can do the same thing with Illustrator. Let's see what this is looking like. So maybe there's something in here. I'm going to bring it out over here. Okay. It looks just kind of like a white box. I'm going to ungroup it maybe, and delete that. Okay, so this is what you're trying to. I used the white arrow tool to delete. I ungrouped it, all of it, and then I used the white arrow tool to delete the white box. So let's just put this back where it was to some degree. Actually, I can just do a Command C since I have this open, and then I can go into InDesign, delete this, and do a Command V. And then I can use the free transform tool to resize. This is it here. It looks like a box with the cursor arrow that's white. So we can push Shift on the keyboard and drag from the corner to make this a little bit bigger or smaller. And I think this is kind of what you're going for. I think maybe this was arranged over the top of it. So I'm going to grab the coffee, go to my Properties panel, and go to my Arrange button and bring to front. To bring it over, I believe, is how you had it. Although I'm not sure if that is a good idea. I think actually having this on top would make more sense because then we could actually see the characters and the numbers and stuff. I'm not sure if you need it on both sides too. If you're going to have this here, you might only need it up here to have those coffees. I'm not sure. I'm not totally sure if that actually looks better or not. I'm kind of thinking maybe it does because I think it's just getting a little too busy with just the amount of stuff. So I'd say if you keep this structure of coffee, like the, I don't know, chemistry of it, you might want to think about just only having this up here. You might want to rotate this a little bit more, maybe, and then, let's see, what is this? Is this an AI file? Let's see. Maybe not. So, and this, let's see, is this the same font that you're using on the front? Okay, so you have, what font is this? This is Monotype Corvosa. This is Vladimir Script. And then we have another font down here called Natura Script. So we have a lot of different fonts. I'm not sure. So I do like this coffee font, but I almost wonder if this isn't almost a little too similar in style. So maybe finding something a little bit more contrasting, such as Futura is always a kind of a good one. It's a more modern font. It's straighter. It doesn't have the serif. I'm gonna have to make this quite a bit. And maybe it would be like an all caps thing. Also, like, you could try a different script for the coffee font too. I mean, we could spend a lot of time trying to figure this out. So it could end up being kind of a rabbit hole. Actually, that's, oops, I didn't know, I found one that I thought was kind of cute. Adlery Pro. It is an Adobe font, so you'd have to go into Find More, and then you can search in, oops. So if you go to Find More, and then put in Adlery Pro, you can activate it here. And I got the regular one. Oh no, actually maybe this is the one I have. I kind of like that. Let's see. And then I could go in here with my cursor, push Option, and just kind of tighten it up a little bit because this particular font is maybe not the best. And maybe that might, that might be a little too close even. But and then we could grab this and I could just size it down to get it to fit a little bit better. I just think, the font pair could use a little bit of work, like just maybe just a little too similar. These almost look like two different colors of brown, but we could possibly just bring this down here, triple click, and then use the eyedropper, which is underneath the color theme tool. So you'll have to go to the eyedropper tool, which I think you already figured out. Actually, you told me that you were kind of having a hard time finding that for a long time. Okay, and then can you push OK? Let's see if that is a better fit. I think a little bit. I think that's closer. Okay, as long as it's still reading coffee too, which I think it is, and then we could triple click this or whatever to get it selected and use that to select that same font style. Maybe we can make this all caps over here in the character panel. If you can't see it, you just have to go to the three more options button, three little dots down here at the end of character in the properties, and go to the double T, which is the all caps. So maybe something a little bit more like that. You don't have to do exactly this, but I think something with just more contrast. And you could even maybe like overlap. Oops, I accidentally did something here. If I push up Alt Control C, you can bring it back from there. Because sometimes it gets cropped out of there, out of the box that it's in. Okay, and then I could do like an arrange, so bring to front on this one. Arrange, bring to front, and try and line up maybe these two things a little bit. Okay, so that's what I might consider doing maybe on the front page. You could even highlight this and then give it a white stroke. Actually, I'll do it over here so that it kind of pops off of, actually that doesn't look so hot. Yeah, I'm on the wrong. Let's see, what's the stroke? Maybe I need to make the stroke finer, and I can go here and make sure the stroke is on the, okay, it is on the outside, so, and maybe it just needs to be brought up just a smidge. And maybe even this could be, honestly, off kilter, just to give it a little bump. And then I almost want to see the background filled in with a color. So, and I might actually bring this, I don't know, something like this maybe. We don't want things to be too far away from each other because then they start to float apart visually, but we could maybe do something like that. And then if you put a W on your keyboard, we can grab the rectangle tool and click from the bleed line. And let's find, like, I don't know, so it automatically just puts a stroke on it, but we can flip that stroke into the fill here with a little swap fill and stroke. Double click here, and maybe let's go with like a black, like a red or a burgundy color maybe, because that tends to look good with brown. Okay, and then we can do our arrange, send it back. That looks pretty good. So this image might need to have the background removed, so we can do a control click on that image itself instead of going into the links panel. It does the same thing, and then edit with Photoshop. We could, in theory, let me see, unlock the background, go into the Properties panel. If the Properties panel is not open, go to Window Properties, make sure it's checked, and then you can go down here and you can do Remove Background. And then you can do your File, Save As. You're going to have to save it out as a different file type because JPEGs do not allow for transparent backgrounds. But you can save it out as a Photoshop. It should automatically default to that if you do a File, Save As. You don't have to change the name or anything. You can put it in your links folder, push save. Okay. So now we need to go back in here and relink this. So I just need to go into my links panel, find the barrels, and then go to the relink button. It looks like a link at the bottom of the links panel. Not all the way at the bottom, but like right down here. And then let's go into the links folder. I'm not in the right one. Downloads, I think I'm here, links, and then barrel PSD. This is the Photoshop document with the background removed. This red is maybe not the right color. You might have to experiment with, you know, your color on this one to find the right the right colors that you want to use. I mean, that's still not wonderful, but maybe if there was a white stroke around everything, or, you know, you could find a good color scheme. I could spend a lot of time on the color scheme, honestly. This page looks a lot better, but I would just change this to the, is it Futura? Just change that to match the front page. And possibly you might want to make this white as well, because it's going to pop off a lot better if that font is white. And let's see. You're supposed to have a icon on here too, so I can show you how to do that real quick. Let's go to our Safari browser. You might have Firefox or Chrome, and then look for, like, I don't know, Instagram icon. I might have spelled that wrong. I don't know. Okay, so this one's not bad. I like how simple it is, so if I click on that, it does have a transparent background on it too, which is nice. So I'll do a control click, save image to downloads. So that one in my downloads folder, and then if I get back into InDesign, this one is actually, let's do file place. Bring that in. I'm going to go for my downloads. Here it is. It's a PNG file, so in theory this probably does have a transparent background. So click and drag it in, and look, there we have it. Perfect. And if we want to resize, we can use the free transform tool, push shift. And then maybe we might put, like, the Instagram icon down here with a handle next to it of some sort. Maybe move all this stuff up a little bit. This logo is nice, but it does take up kind of a lot of room. I wonder if, you know, even if you just kind of cropped off that. Oops, what is this? Oh, okay. So maybe you could just do that, or even put it off to the side here and do this, so that you have a little bit more room for your information. You know, maybe something, and actually it does look a little bit less cluttered if we do that. And I would capitalize, like, freshly and roasted, and then maybe consider making it, maybe this font here, which is the Adderley. Just stick with the, like, maybe 2 fonts. Otherwise you're just going to get really probably too busy. And I'm going to make it bigger too, just to kind of give it that size contrast. And there is room for it to be bigger, honestly, now that we put it on one line. So yeah, something like that. And then we could put the extra information for Instagram. You know, I could just, I don't know, maybe something like that, and then we just go through. Maybe give this a little bit more of leading, so the space between lines a little bit wider, maybe, just so that this Instagram icon can fit in here. Grab this, free transform tool, shift, maybe try and line it up like this, and I'm going to back this up now just by deleting spaces. So this is all one text box, but yeah, so that's looking pretty good. So now you have your social media icon. You might want to just quickly look over the project worksheet to make sure that you're meeting all requirements for the project. I think you are. Sometimes I forget, though, exactly what is on every project worksheet. So it's always good to just look at those before you turn your project in. But other than that, this is looking good, except for you need to bring these past the bleed line or to the bleed line. And I would remove the strokes as well. Sometimes I just make them past it, and then I take off that stroke, just so I know for sure that this is going to print right. It might be a case, too, that this should just be removed, because honestly, it's just, you know, sometimes it just gets a little too busy, and then we could just always grab these things, all of these except for the background, and just kind of put it on possibly like this, and there's a little bit more room that way. So maybe something like that. I think maybe making this more of this white maybe would help it to match the back. So whatever colors you use on your text on the back, try and do that on the front so that the front and the back kind of match stylistically. But other than that, I think this is what I have for you.